Is America's student leadership trainer. Awesome guy, more than 300 campuses around the country, and he's the 2019 APCA Campus Speaker of the Year. Please welcome to the stage, Dave Kelly.
Thank you. Love you too, Bitsy. Thank you. All right, well, I'm excited to be here. APCA, 25 years, and I've been here for 15 of them. So I am so thrilled. Thank you. Yeah, I'm known as America's Student Leadership Trainer because that's the title that I gave myself. I think a title made up or taken is better than one earned or elected, but I know a lot of you are in earned and elected roles, and I'm going to talk a little bit today about how you can be a better leader. But before I get into that, Dell mentioned to you I've been to more than 300 schools. And you know, when I first started out, I don't think I had the same level of confidence as I do now when I'm in front of an audience. I can remember being in a school early on where I was waiting outside and the door had a window in, so I could look in and see the students. And they were all sort of sitting there. Some of them were talking, a few of them were poking each other. And I was like, oh, are they gonna like me? How is this gonna go? Will they like my stories? And then from inside the room I heard, and now boys and girls, welcome Mr. Kelly. And I went in to face the most hostile and volatile of audiences possible. 5-year-olds. I was actually at an elementary school, an at-risk school in Atlanta, to read as part of my Kiwanis Club's program of reading to kids. So I strode into the room, and all the kids were sitting crisscross applesauce on the floor. Remember doing that? And I sat in the reader chair, which was designed for a 5-year-old, and I looked at them and I said, hi, boys and girls, I'm Mr. Kelly, and I'm from the Kiwanis Club, and I'm here to read to you today. And I brought 3 books, all by Dr. Seuss. Does everybody like Dr. Seuss? And some of the hands shot up, but then they looked around and they went back down, and then they kind of went part of the way up again. And I thought Dr. Seuss was going to be a good bet. One little girl off to the side still had her hand up, and I said, yes, sweetie, do you have a question? And she said, I like Cat in the Hat. I hadn't brought Cat in the Hat that day, so I thought I might be in trouble. And then a little boy off to the side still had his hand up, and I said, yes, do you have a question? And he said, we have 3 cats. And I looked over at the teacher for help, but she had her face buried in her hands in some sort of self-induced coma, and I knew I was on my own. So I figured I better read to them the book that I love the best, the one that I read to my daughters, Green Eggs and Ham. I am Sam. I am Sam. Sam I am. That's Sam I am. That's Sam I am. I do not like that Sam I am. And all of the kids were at rapt attention. Just like you are, waiting to see if there's more pictures from the book, aren't you? Well, there's not. And so I'm reading along, and I get to the part where he says, I don't like them here or there. I don't like them. Yeah. You've read the book. How cool. And that's what the kids did too. And then I said, I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them. Yeah, and I'm thinking, awesome, audience participation. So now I'm going along and I'm getting more excited and the kids are getting louder. I'm reading about the rain and the train and the boat and the goat and the car and the tree and all these places, and the kids are shouting anywhere and Sam I am, and they're getting louder and louder. So the first grade teacher came across the hallway and she asked me if I could quiet the children down, and I looked at her and I said, are you kidding me? I'm on a roll here. And then I get to the point where this guy finally agrees to eat the green eggs and ham, and once he does, he loves them. And he says he'll eat them in all those places, and he finishes by saying, I do so love green eggs and ham. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, and that's what the kids did too, and I was hooked. And I've been reading to those kids now for 20 years. Not the same kids. They've gotten older. Here's my kids from a few years ago. I know, I love that picture. I get paid in hugs. It is so awesome. And I also teach them things that I learned sometimes from students. Turn to somebody you know, or somebody right next to you, and do the rock and explode it. Okay? All right, do that. Now, I learned a variation on this when I was out west. Treasure Valley Community College, you in the house? The Caldwell campus, which is in Idaho, taught me a variation. Now turn to your friend and go, potato fries. Yeah. I teach that to the kids every year. And every time I read to them, and I just read to them 2 weeks ago, when I'm done, they line up and they all give me potato fries. And And when I'm in the hallway, the older kids see me and they go, Mr. Kelly, do you remember when you used to read to me? Potato, fries, potato, fries. It's so fun. And what it is, it's about being a serving leader. And there have been some great serving leaders over time. I think Dr. King is telling us here in this quote that our service will determine our greatness. And there are service opportunities all around us. And you may see them coming. You may have opportunities to react, but sometimes they'll just pop up. And you've got to be ready to lead. And that's what Gandhi is saying. Be ready to serve. But here's the thing. It's not about us being served, but about serving others. And always understand, little things can mean a lot. We do something at these conferences called APCA Serves, and a lot of you participated in that. And just 2 hours ago, I gave, based on what your work that you did, 145 toiletry kits to the Victim Service Center of Central Florida for sexual assault victims. And they were thrilled to receive those. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause for that. They serve over 6,000 people a year, sadly. And I said, I know this isn't a lot. And they said, every bit helps. It makes a big difference. I know of schools who do service, big ways and small ways. Bossier Parish Community College does a monthly service program. Tiffany Sandifer coordinates that. They just did Valentine's Day for veterans, where they made cards and took them to the VA home in Shreveport. But they didn't just drop them off. One of their students was a rock star. Gavin, I know you're in here. I saw him, yeah? Gavin, he went around to all the different veterans, gave them their cards, and sat and talked with them and engaged with them. That's a serving leader right there. Let's give him a round of applause. And then you could do other things like at N-Trip, Niagara County Community College. They do pizza with a slice. Every month you come do a small, easy service project and you get a slice of pizza. You can make a difference in the world by serving. The program that I'm talking about here is called Building Leaders Through Service. And I engage your students by getting them involved in interactive activities and talking with each other and working together to develop 15 qualities that will make them better leaders and be people who will serve other people. Because I think leadership is all about service. And the distinction is, it's not about serving us. If you're asking what's in it for me, you're asking the wrong question. Putting others first. So, what problems does this solve? Lots of them. Here's some ideas that I have. Apathy on campus, retaining students, getting people involved, developing leadership qualities in ways that other people hadn't thought about. How would you use a program like this? You could use it for new student orientation. I've done it for leadership conferences and retreats. Martin Luther King Day of Service. Sometimes I come and I do the service projects like we do with APCA Serves, and we make dog toys and hugging hands and other things as part of the program. You could make this an all-day affair. We did it at Amarillo College last year, and also at McNeese State, where we did dog toys and then took them to an animal shelter. You can make a big difference. Now, beyond that, I also work with clubs and organizations, and my number one topic is Robert's Rules, parliamentary procedure. And I will show your students how to make motions, how to get things done in meetings. Do any of you know people who know Robert's Rules so well that they're able to use it as a weapon against everybody else? Yeah? That was me when I was in college. Back then, I used my powers for evil. Now I'm using them for good. So I'll teach you how to put an agenda together, how to run a meeting, call that meeting to order, hit a gavel, ring a bell, use a clapper, smack a freshman, do whatever you need to get that meeting going. And from there, we'll also talk about membership recruitment for clubs and organizations, how to get them in. I've signed up more than 10,000 students for clubs and organizations. Also, how to keep those members and run fun and exciting meetings. Motivate them by delegating authority, giving them responsibilities, and getting them involved in your club. And dealing with conflict, the big ouch. Conflict hurts. Most of us don't like pain, unless you're into mixed martial arts or that weird 50 Shades of Grey stuff. So how would you use this stuff? What problems does it solve? Apathy on campus, involvement in organizations, getting more students involved and keeping them involved. That's always a big problem. We get the members and then we lose them. I'll teach your students how to keep them involved. And when do you do this? Student government retreats. I do them all summer long. I just signed one up today near Baton Rouge, Louisiana for a school. 2-day retreats, leadership conferences. I'll come in, I do training. Sometimes I come to SGA meetings and do parliamentary procedure. All of these are ways that we can have an impact, because I believe that we can change the world by serving one life at a time. And what my goal simply is to come to your campus, and through these programs, I'm hoping that I can just light a spark. And that spark will get your students fired up. I'm Dave Kelly. I'm at booth 7 to come and see you. Thank you very much.
All right, y'all.